Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, yesterday everybody who attended the live stream or rewatched it that I did when the prices dropped yesterday, late yesterday in the UK, you already know where we are, but we can look into the micro count again. So what we did at the moment, I do assume that the 5-wave move of the November lows finished. Yeah, that was our alternative scenario. The second one that we said will get live if Bitcoin loses support. I think, let me actually double check that. So we were obviously looking at support here. We had a really, I think, successful week last week where we had a support area here. Trend reversal worked out. We had one here, worked out. We had one here, worked out. Had one here, worked out, and this support area failed. But as you know, I gave you this one in orange to highlight the risk. Okay, so always watch out if you see a support area that is in orange, then it is higher risk of failure. I think I draw it correctly, this one, yeah. And then we had the 88.7 fib level activated as well. So just to show you and what you need to watch out for. So obviously we came into this, we reacted to this resistance here, yeah. And I did highlight to you the whole week that things are now getting a bit risky and probabilities are fairly are getting fairly similar. Yeah, you know, you have a certain probability for it to go down, and you have a certain probability for it to go up. But because of the overall context and the lack of impulsive price action to the upside, you had similar probabilities on both sides. That's when I highlight the support areas as orange, because there is, let's say, low confidence in the count and higher risk of it, you know, going the other way. Which hopefully helped a lot of you. And then, of course, you know, when it loses support, see here, you know, that's why this is so useful, because when it lost support, it dropped like, what did it drop? Like 4-5% for Bitcoin, which is quite a lot in 1 hour or something. So these support areas do help also in the sense of if they break, because they will always break at some point. It's a bit like a trend line, it holds until it breaks. Also with an Elliott Wave count, you can trade them until they break. At some point they do break, and we're morphing into a different scenario. Advantage with Elliott Wave is when a scenario breaks, most likely, in really most cases then, the alternative becomes the primary, which gives you directly a head up, and we were all prepared for the alternative scenario of a drop to retest the weeks of the beginning of the week, yeah, which was down here at around 22,770. So you knew about that drop down into that region, and then if that breaks, we said we come down probably to these fib level ranges here in green. First of all, 21,536, and I think that's exactly where we're heading to now. So we talk about the high level scenario in this video. Maybe we do that first, because we've got two scenarios again, of course, okay, and you need to be prepared for both. But luckily they are both, at the moment in the short term, you don't have a great difference between both of them, okay? So that should really help. So expectation at the moment is that we are coming down here in an ABC correction. Yeah, I might adjust that throughout the day, but that's sort of at the moment what I see here. That's also the alternative we talked about, so that we come down here off this high. So this is the 5-wave move, which then possibly now finished. That started back in November. 5 waves up. I still have my problems with believing that this is the complete wave 5, but it is possible, as we said. And off this high, we moved down, in my opinion, in an A wave, moved up in a B wave, and we come down in a C wave now. This C wave consists of 5 waves. So what is very important to understand in the short term is where are we going to land, and that's what we say, what we talk about in a minute. Now, after this ABC move, we can expect some kind of a bounce. My expectation at the moment, looking at the chart, would be, at least that's a possibility, that this ABC structure is just a larger A wave. We would then get some kind of a bounce in a B wave, and then come down in C into this larger support area. So I do expect a bounce into this Fibonacci confluence area. There's a lot of confluence and support in this area towards 21,536 and 20,293, yeah, in this region. So scaling in is what I'm going to do in this area. Probably also switch on my grid bot again, which I switched off yesterday when it dropped below 23k, as I said before. So I want to activate it at the bottom of the range, of the local range. I do not think that this is the entire correction or the entire move. Sorry, this one here. I don't think this is the entire move required for this correction. Yeah, if we have one more low here, will that finish off this wave too? Don't think so. Not looking at the timing. I mean, we started that 5-wave move back in November, and you would typically expect at least maybe 1 or 2 months of that correction to play out, right? Overall, that's why I think it's so useful to think of it in terms of, okay, this is probably just the A wave, a larger A wave. We get a B wave and then a C wave down, because time-wise that would work out and we would land somewhere in April. So yeah, looking at a bounce here, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. Other scenario, possible as well. I did highlight that before, didn't focus on it too much because I didn't want to confuse people, but I always try to show you the 2 most likely scenarios, because if I do, then you're always prepared, and you need to know in this market the environment. I mean, last week we had so many support areas work out here to the upside, yeah, even though it was sort of just corrective upside. No, this week actually, yeah, even though it was just corrective upside, but I still always highlighted to you the alternative scenario, so that if one support area fails and the market does go into the other direction, that you know immediately what can you expect now, right? So this is biggest advantage of the Elliott Wave method. Know your environment, and then that's winning half the battle, okay? Now, what's the other scenario? The other scenario is that, but as I said, in the short term, it doesn't make a great difference. The other scenario is that this fifth wave here never finished, that we actually never started it, that also the 4th wave never finished. How does that work? It works in a way that I say, okay, the move down was just an A wave. The move up is a B wave. So that we have here a situation of a possible running flat or expanded flat. And that in this C wave, or actually, yeah, it's correct, but it's not an A wave down. Would say this was a wave W, an X wave, and we're now coming down in a Y wave in an A, B, C in Y. Here we also should find support somewhere here, maybe after one more low. So it doesn't change anything in the short term, but it would mean that after this, yeah, so the wave 4 would then finish here, and we then get a wave 5 rally. So if we then see an impulse to the upside instead of a B wave, we know that this is the wave 5. And then in the end, my expectation would have worked out that this wave 5 wasn't finished, but yeah, it's just another way of looking at it. But these are sort of the highly likely scenarios. And, as I said before, out of basically the infinity of possibilities, I'm already only taking that most highly likely scenarios. They're all likely if I show them to you. They are all to a degree probable, because bear in mind, the market can do anything. And I show you already only out of that anything space of possibilities, only 2 or 3 which I believe are most likely. And yeah, that's the value I believe. Now, looking at this move down now, you look at this and we say, okay, possibly wave 1 worked out as a diagonal pattern. Yeah. Here, the thing is, Coinbase and Binance structures look slightly different here. We could argue that maybe we have a 1-2-1-2 setup here, which would add another 4 and another 5 to the downside. So be prepared that we might have to adjust that to the downside a little bit more in the end. But for now, I'm looking at it as a wave 1, as a wave 2, as a wave 3. This here looks like a wave 4, so we can maybe get a bit more sideways movement today here, yeah, in a 4th wave, and then get one more wave down, at least one more wave. Yeah, as I said, if we have a 1-2-1-2 setup, it would basically mean that you have another 1, 2 here, that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this wave 5 would only finish the 3rd wave. Yeah, then we get a 4th, and then one more down, yeah, in 5. So just to understand how that works. But if you scale in, it doesn't matter. So yeah, and that's sort of where I see or think where we are. We've now reached wave 4 resistance. Yeah, this is where we should get rejected, between 22,367, which is the 23.6 retracement, and the 50% retracement at 22,782. Going above that level would question this scenario, but for now it looks like we're adhering to it. Already said in the live stream yesterday that it looks like that this is a 3rd wave, and I think it is, looking at the micro count today after having had a bit of sleep. And the wave 4 up, and yeah, and one more wave down would be anticipated into the region I indicated, starting sort of at 21,536, and we can also and we can also look at the subwave structure and target based on just measuring the length here of waves 1 to 3 and going roughly here to the high of the 5th wave. So target wise, yeah, I think also here, I mean, the very first target would be 21,698. Could of course finish there. It's the very first one. It's a bit above the support range that we have, but be aware there could already be a bit of a bounce here. But because we have a lot of fib confluence around 21,200, 21,000 to 21,536, that's the main area I'm watching. I mean, someone could add a very first small position up here, but I think more fibs and targets point towards this larger area between 20,293 and 21,536. So yeah, so at the moment trend is still down, yeah, and I would expect further, at least one more leg down further today. Let's see, but you know that if we break above 22,782, that this is basically getting very unlikely and we have to expect a larger bounce and maybe have this move down already finished. But for now, expectations are to carry on to the downside, maybe in a little bit more of an extended 4th wave. Again, that can go all the way up to 22,782. Only if it goes above that, it needs a change of the micro count. Okay, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.